Hi listener, this is From Ideology to Unity, a spiritual journey where we let go of ego and ideological doctrine in favour of meaning, purpose and unity as a whole. So, what's this about? I've been reflecting on my own, the way I podcast and my own feelings about it, I suppose. And I feel like perhaps I could share the perspective I've come to about it, because hopefully that might be helpful and shed some light on your life, potentially, if you've had anything or experienced anything, if you relate. So when I started this podcast, it was the main idea was that what I can do in life is what I'm passionate about, and that I would love that. I suppose part of the idea was it would bring love into my life, but I don't think I thought about it literally like that. It's just that I'm passionate about it, and I love what I do, and hopefully I can make money off that, so I can make a living and from doing what I love. So, and also, perhaps, though, what happened is that it was actually, on some level, my ego was using it as a way to increase my self-esteem, right? Because I had low self-esteem, I had for a long time. Incidentally, I don't anymore, or at least it's higher than it was. There was quite a significant increase, I would suppose, in my self-esteem when I set up my podcast, and the more, that's been helping, I suppose. But obviously, well, I wouldn't say obviously, but self-esteem is like an up and down roller coaster that's egoic, right? It's like you achieve stuff and you feel like, if you've got low self-esteem, when you feel like so it's got your negative self-belief of not being good enough, right? And you have low self-esteem when I don't know if this is true, but this is how I understand it. We get low self-esteem where that negative self-belief is combined with a low sense of achievement. And so that means explicitly believing that you're not good enough, and saying, look, my actions, low self-esteem, and then just, oh God, I'm so worthless, and all that stuff. Because you feel you're not good enough, I'm not good enough because of all these things, and you've got all these reasons why you think about and complain to yourself about why you feel like you're not good enough or worthless or whatever, why you feel so bad about yourself. Now, someone with high self-esteem, what that is they've still got the negative self-belief that they're not good enough, which is why they're so driven to continue to achieve more and more and more and more. Constantly work, hustle more and more and more and more. Constantly longer hours, more pay, more achievements, more possessions, more. That way they can keep up the momentum going. Because if they don't keep up that, it's like they keep on needing to get more and more coal into the engine of, like, think of it like a cross between a train and a roller coaster. It's going up and down, well, no, actually no, just think of it like a train, an old-fashioned train. They're getting more and more, they're working really hard to put all this coal in, and they need to keep it going, or at least they feel they do. Because if they stop, or if they don't keep up, or if it goes down, if their achievements go down, if things go wrong, then they won't successfully avoid that low self-esteem and that feeling of not being good enough, that negative self-belief. They don't need to confront that negative self-belief that's subconscious if as long as they keep on in their conscious awareness, if they keep on achieving more and more things and having more and more things, reinforcing a sense of being better than other people and higher social status, more wealth, more possessions, all these things, the more they feed their ego, the more they feel better about themselves, and the less they feel their belief that they're not good enough, and their belief that they're worthless. They have that repressed belief but they feel it and maintain it below the surface and push it down below the surface by doing this. What happens, the issue that people who don't achieve lots of things, especially things that society and social status, the society gives you social status for, and society as a whole, the collective unconscious, deems to be worthwhile. If you don't achieve these things, then instead of repressing it, what you get is a much more overwhelming, depressing feeling of not being good enough and worthlessness. And that can be a cause of depression, other issues like self-harm and all sorts of things. Is where people, they've got a lot of ego, and they've got negative self-beliefs, and their identities are low self-worth identities, or low status identities like failure, loser, and stuff like that, right? Maybe alcoholic, not to disparage anyone, but it's just like the things that society looks down on will be, and if they don't, they will look down on themselves as well, and they'll be like, that they will. But the thing is, the ego always looks for identities, and it's willing to accept a low status identity and self-hatred and a huge amount of suffering, because the alternative would be less ego overall. And the ego it's focused on survival, but it's also focused on, it's programming, mental programming that was originally for survival, but has become inflated and literally insanely, like it's kind of like a psychic wound or mental wound that corrupts mental programming, like when you corrupted files in a computer. And instead of being a servant to the self, or being a servant to the soul, let's say, the I am presence, instead what happens is it works against you. Now, it works against you in, to simplify it, one of two ways. Either it works against you by maintaining a low status identities that cause a lot of overtly felt suffering. That would be low self-esteem. Or if it's high social self-esteem, then it will cause a lot of suffering in the drive to maintain that position and seek ever higher position, and the feeling of, I'm not good enough, I've got to get more, right? Or somewhere in between. To be honest, it's all the same thing, really. Whether it's high self-esteem or low self-esteem, it's just different parts of that polarity, maybe. Okay, so how does this relate to me? Well, what I've been experiencing is, now I'm already somewhat aware of having a spiritual ego, because quite frankly, most people in spirituality do. It's the people who are present, like Eckhart Tolle, who don't, that managed to get to the transition phase is a spiritual ego phase, I would say. But I'm aware of that. But nevertheless, I've become more aware of the sense of not being... Okay, what happened is, there are these ups and downs, and there are these, with the energies, and there's things going on in the world, and things that happen in my life, and that happen in your life, where that which you get self-esteem from slows down, right? So in my case, I was making a lot of podcasts. I was doing a lot. I was really on a roll. And then I started questioning whether I wanted to change my tag, instead of I didn't want to just get unbalanced and, like, in a Taoist sense, just go off the way and suffer the consequences. I was aware of that, and I was considering different avenues to go in, and I've been reflecting for a while on what to do there, trying new things, trying to learn new skills like video editing and stuff like that. And that's a good thing. It's just that I've been aware that I've been not doing the same amount of content. Now, there's obviously self-kindness where you're like, oh, I'm good enough as I am. But you can tell yourself all you like, but these positive affirmations don't necessarily immediately have an effect. Doing shadow work isn't usually immediate anyway. Like, so yeah, I'm aware of this sense of self-esteem decreased a little bit again. It went up when I started the podcast, now it's decreasing a bit because I'm like, this thing. So I'm like, okay, so my self-esteem was attached to how much content I do. So now what? How much do I do of this? And how much do I want to do of this? Because I don't want to be feeding ego in the process and using it as a crutch. But it's still serving others, even if to some extent I was like, oh yeah, I'm a better person because I'm serving others, and that's great, I'm such a good person for serving others, which is spiritual ego. And I'm still aware that it is serving others and that is my path. So where's the line between serving others because that's your choice or serving others because that's your ego, right? Distinguishing the differences, like, I mean, there is a clear difference, but it might not be clear seeing what the difference is because you need to feel it out, right? And then there's, am I taking too long? How much am I taking too long deciding what path to take? Where's the line when you're learning new skills and slowing down what you're doing and the momentum of your podcasting, say, for example, in my case, when you're considering new avenues, new skills to learn, instead of just going all out, one single focus, right? You need to keep momentum going, but at the same time, you need to, like, and you don't want to just be lazy or something, you want to make excuses to yourself, but at the same time, you don't know we're using it as a crutch and feeding your ego and just trying to maintain high self-esteem and not actually confronting your issues doing that. Because that would be also spiritual bypassing as well. It's like, no, I'm doing great, not confronting the issues, right? And this is just me, right? I'm not saying this just to say what I'm going through. What I'm saying is, have you experienced anything like this? And it's not for me, you don't need to tell me, well, you can if you want, but it's just like, it's worth asking yourself that, maybe. And it's okay if the answer is yes. And in fact, it's great if the answer is yes, because you don't want to be in denial about it. And if you accept a truth that can help you, it's a signpost to help your inner work, your shadow work, right? So it's a good thing if you're aware of something like that. Because if you're aware of it, it doesn't mean, okay, there's a problem, oh no. It's more like, yeah, I'm aware of that. Now I can, like, adjust to accommodate that understanding and maybe do some more work, maybe be kind to myself. Sometimes just that awareness of yourself is itself all you need, because it allows you to be more authentic just by being more aware of yourself, right? How do you be authentic? Well, first, you need to know what's you and what isn't you. And that might sound simple, but it isn't, right? You might say, oh, I'm a spiritual, I'm an infinite soul living a temporary existence. Yeah, but which bit's the infinite you and which bit's the temporary you? Well, we say, well, there's my ego and there's my soul. Well, okay. Which is which in your experience, in your actions, to what you display to others? Because you could say every single thought is ego. I wouldn't say it's that simple, but you could. Or you could alternatively just be like thinking all these spiritual thoughts and thinking like, oh yeah, all this stuff is like my higher self, right? These are simplifications, but I think you might get my point. So it's like a mirror maze of facing up your inner demons. Maybe this is like what the fourth dimension is. I've heard the fourth dimension is more psychological. Whereas the fifth dimension is, well, I guess, kind of like another spatial dimension, whereas this is the fourth dimension is kind of temporal mental, if that makes sense. I don't know, but so yeah, what we're doing is we're confronting our ego and aspects of the self or whatever, right? We're confronting these identities and our crutches and what feeds our ego and the different ways in which we have high esteem, low esteem, this, that, and the other as identities, how we are egoic and how we are not, and how we learn to be more ourselves, right? We start to know ourselves, right? From there we can accept it. Otherwise we're just in denial and not accepting it, and you can't really love what you don't accept. If you don't accept something, you kind of end up in fight or flight about it. You don't accept its presence, so you've got to either run away from it, take it out, which would be anger, but running away would be sadness, and then freezing would be fear. That's the way Aaron Abke puts it anyway. I'm not going to treat him like it's not gospel just because he says it, but it kind of makes sense to me. Anyway, like, so yeah, that's what we're grappling with, and it's okay that you're grappling with it. In fact, it's a good thing. You might feel like, oh, I'm feeling these negative emotions come up. It might be especially during the supermoon and the lunar eclipse and various other astrological stuff, or just stuff that's happening in your life, right? And you might feel like you're a failure maybe if you're going through all these negative emotions, but quite to the contrary. I've been through that as well. Feeling of, wait, am I doing this right? But if you weren't feeling these negative emotions, you'd be doing it wrong in a way. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't really feel it's my place to say that, but nevertheless, perhaps you'd be doing it wrong because you wouldn't be confronting the negativity that's within you. How do you know it's there? Well, it's in most people because it's in the collective unconscious, and for generations there's been negative karma, people are acting all these war, conflict, suffering. You're going to get some of it yourself, inevitably. The question is, are you processing it in a healthy way? Are you accepting it and letting it go? Are you really accepting it? That's another question. Are you truly accepting it in action? Are you leaving space for it? Or are you just going through some small sort of measures where you just tell yourself you're doing, where you just say you love and accept it, but you don't really? Because that's something else to register. Are you really leaving space for that? Are you using love and acceptance and that stuff as a way to change it, to get rid of it, those negative feelings and emotions, all the while telling yourself that you're loving and accepting it? Because you've got to really feel it, right? You can't just brush it away with love. You've got to like cuddle your suffering with love, right? Like it's a child, right? Because in a way this is related probably to your inner child as well. I don't know exactly how. Something worth investigating as well. Inner child work, definitely worth considering. So all these things are connected, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be messy, and if you might feel bad or like you're failing if it's messy, but quite to the contrary, Okay, suppose there's all this mess on the floor, right? And suppose as you're wiping it up or cleaning it up, I always said don't use the cleaning up metaphor, but this is a different situation. If you're cleaning up, you might get some muck on you, right? You might think, oh, I'm doing bad, I'm so dirty. No, actually, you can't get it done without that. So that's really what being kind to yourself about is, and being patient with yourself. And this is maybe a time where that's what a lot of people are going through. And if you are, you know, that's great. You're just where you need to be. So I could go on, but I think I've made my point clear. And yeah, I hope it resonated with you or helped you in some way. You know, I feel good expressing this. You know, I feel like I've had these ideas that come to me. I might as well just share them and not like take an hour or two doing it. I could just do a relatively short thing, which I think is what people want as well. People like, I think there's demand for shorter videos as well. All right, so you take care of yourself and stay strong and all that. So bye for now.